What is going on, guys? DBG here, and this is the start of our monthly tier list in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So we are going to be doing a tier list of the point guards for the month of... I can't believe we're in April. I really can't believe we're in April. So we are a grand total, like we are well over a year into this quarantine, which is madness, which is absolutely madness. But anyway, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Trying to 250k. Honestly, by the end of this month, right now we are like 241,200. So we've got like just under 9k to go, and we have an entire month to do it. So it's going to be really close. We got like 8.6k last month, so it's going to be very close. But anyway, now let's get on to the list. We're going to be ranking these from S tier to worthless tier, and we got about 65-ish point guards here. So we're going to start off with Jared Jack. I'm going to put Jared Jack, I'm going to say he's C tier. I think when we're talking about overall point guards, he's somewhere between, I reckon he's somewhere between like 30, 40, 50 in that range. I think C tier is probably the right tier for him. Obviously, there are guys that I've completely forgotten on this list that you might argue should be in higher tiers or should be on this list. And I know he might give it the B, but I think Jared Jack, he can't really curry his, well, he can't curry at all. His like ability to create isn't the greatest, but I mean, for his time, he was unbelievable. He really was. Then we got Smush. I'm gonna put Smush. Smush is either going to be the lower end of A tier or the upper end of B tier at that point guard position. I'm going to put Smush in A tier. We'll see when the rest of the cards are to be put into their positions. Okay, Anthony Simons, B tier. He's just, as much as I don't like him on next gen, he is just better than Jared Jack. His dunking's really good. I think his dribble style is a reason why he's a little below Smush Parker. Dunking's pretty good. Obviously, the dunk contest champion. His release is alright, like his Draymond release. I mean, I don't think he's a bad card by any means, but like if we're looking for great cards, good cards, I wouldn't suggest him. Like for his price, you can go and get yourself a Dinwiddie who's just a million times better. So next we are on to Baron Davis. Baron Davis is, if we're talking next gen, he's better than Simons and he's better than Smush, but current gen he's not as good as either of them. I'll give him B tier. And I'll give both Baron Davis cards B tier, because I don't think they're quite as good as Smush. But this, I do think on next gen, Opal Baron Davis is better. On current gen, it's a really weird one. But on current gen, it's kind of a shock, but Amethyst Baron Davis is probably better than Opal Baron Davis, which is absolutely nuts. Like it's kind of one of those just like shocking ones that is like the lower tier card, even the worst stats. Just Showtime dunks are so big in current gen. Simmons, A tier. You could argue Simmons in S tier. You could argue Simmons in F tier, but Simmons, depending on what your playstyle is, if you just want to run, he's elite. He's an elite dunker. Yeah, he's a tough one to rate because he is unique. He's very unique as that big point guard, can't really shoot. He's unique. Okay, next we've got Sura. This is gonna annoy a lot of people, but I think Smush is better than Sura. Like, I just think the release is a big factor, and if you were to ask me who I would take, Smush Parker or Bob Sura, I'm taking Sura 10 times, or sorry, I'm taking Smush Parker 10 times out of 10. Doesn't matter what gen. But at the end of the day, with these two guys, it's just preference. Like, it really is. Smush versus Sura is very much just personal preference. I know most people are going to be on the side that Sura is better, and that's fine. But my preference is for Smush over Sura, so that's what I'm going to do. And we got Chauncey, E tier. His release is horrendously awful. It's bad. Like, it's really bad. His release is, oh man, his release is terrible. Then we got CP3. CP3 is like that one tier below a Jared Jack, so he's going D tier. When Chris Paul came out, though, he came out in December the 17th or 18th. He came out in the first retro pack, and he was good. He was like the best cheap point guard in the game until what's his name came out, until Fultz came out, and then obviously Jared Jack came out, who was just way better than him, but he was great. Range center, clamps, quick first step. Speaking of CP3 though, I don't like him. I'm sorry, I'm not putting a 6 foot tall point guard above C tier. He's just little, he's just tiny. He's just tiny. Clem. I mean, Clem I think is the best of all of these point guards we've seen so far. Like, obviously take away Simmons, because Simmons is a unique player. I think Clem is class. Like, Clem's release, I really like it. I like his handle. He has got half range. Clem is one of those like really underrated players that a lot of people don't realize he's as good as he is, because he came out in a batch of cards where there was a lot of good higher end players. People don't realize that Clem is, I'm not gonna say one of the best players in the game, but he's definitely one of the better guys at that point guard position. Yeah, so Clem's going A tier. Kobe White. I think I might have to move everybody down tiers. We're not yet at the time where we fill in the low tiers. I'm going to put Kobe White in. He's good. He's got good height, good length, good shoot. I'm going to put Kobe White in A tier as well. Kobe White's probably the best player, honestly. We've seen it. I don't know. Clem's probably the best than Kobe White. But I'm telling you, Kobe White's handle is nice. It is so nice. He plays a lot like he's like a downgraded version of the Opal Jamal Murray. And yeah, he just does a lot. He does a lot of things you kind of wouldn't expect a card to do, and he does them all well. And yeah, him and Chris Boucher came out in the same day, and they are two of the best diamonds in the game, so A tier for him. Sexton when he came out was great. I don't think he's just little. He's just small. He's better than Clem. Yeah, he's A. Sexton was a really good card when he came out. Still is a good card, can't lie. Still is a really solid card in this game. I think I'm going to have to, we're 7 minutes in, I'm going to start putting in the bums, the lower tier players, and I might have to start moving people down tiers. Alright, so we got worthless tier. We got Gilbert in the worthless tier. He is horrendous. Gonna put JoJo into Chris Paul tier here, D tier. JoJo's alright though. JoJo's alright. Kemba go into E tier. He's just too little. Even when you badge him up, he's not great. Kemba is going into that tier. Spud Webb getting the worthless tier. He's really poor. He's really poor. Ty Lawson is awful. I thought Ty Lawson was going to be like better CP3. No, man, he's so much worse. It's just something about Ty Lawson that makes him horrendous. I just hate him. I hate that card so much in this game. Jameer Nelson. One of these. I got C tier for Jameer. I got C tier for Jameer because, again, he can't curry. He does have a good release. He's like a worse version for me of like a Felipe Lopez or a... Yeah, that's basically... He's a much smaller, much worse Felipe Lopez. Okay, we got 3 dames here. I'm going to go like this with my dames. I'm going to go like this. Where's my 3rd dame? I'm going to go like this with the dames. We got A tier, we got B tier, and then we got C tier because this... I don't particularly like the way Dame moves. I prefer a Baron Davis because of the Curry slide. Even though 90% of people will say Dame's better. 90% will say Pink Diamond Dame's better than Baron Davis. I just prefer Baron Davis. I'm not that high on Dame Lillard. And I'm also going to move you down. Smush, you're going to go down a tier. I think that makes it look a little bit better. I'm not as high on Dame. Like, a lot of people would probably have Dame in C and the 2 Opals in A tier. But I'm going to have them like this. Okay, so we need to fill out these lower tiers, though. I'm going to move almost everybody down a tier. I think that might work better. He's looking at these guys here. Are there any of these guys that are as bad as these 3 here? I don't think so. So, Yeah, you're gonna go down, you're gonna go down, you're gonna go down, you stay. You go down, you go down. You go down, you go down. And yeah, that looks better. That looks better. Darius Garland. Darius Garland is class. He's just a little bit small. Like, if Darius Garland was like 6'5", he would be in A tier, no question about it. Heck, if he was 6'4", he'd be in A tier. His release is good. His handle's pretty good. His dunking's mediocre. He's just not spectacular, is he? He's all right. That's kind of the only way you can describe him. Is like he's meh. He's fine. He's okay. Again, there's a lot of good things about Darius Garland, but he's just not the he's not that like be all and end all great card in this game. He's fine. For his price, he's mediocre, but I think you can just get cheaper guys to do the same job. Fox, B tier. I like Fox. I like the Aaron Fox. I haven't seen any S tier players yet, but I do really, really like the Aaron Fox. I think his handle's good. I think his release is good. It's just there's just something about him. There's just something about him that just separates. That I would say, look, I would rather have Clem Haskins instead of him. Dennis Schroeder, I hate him. Schroeder E tier, I hate him. I used him once. I hate this guy with a passion. Like, yeah, you should probably argue he's D tier. I just can't stand him. D Rose, D. Yeah, you can badge him up. Yeah, you can give him half showtime, but like, for me, he's release unusable, and he's a trash can on next gen. He is an absolute trash can on next gen. So for that reason, he's going D tier. This D Rose though, I'm gonna have to put him in S. I'm not the biggest fan of this card. I don't think he's worth the MT because he's just that little bit undersized for a guy you're spending that much MT on. But at the end of the day, he's by far the best card we've seen, and he is the only dark matter point guard in the game. So I think it's a fair spot to put him into good old S tier right here. I think that is a fair spot to put him up at the top. Dom Buse. Dom Buse is going A tier. Dom Buse is he the best in A tier? I mean, it's debatable. It is definitely debatable whether or not he is the best player in S tier right now. So in A tier right now. Buse is like a worse Derrick Rose. They actually both have Derrick Rose release, and I think his defense is fantastic. His dunking is fantastic. He's only got gold range, but his overall movement's good. He's got a good length, 6'4" with a long wingspan. Don Buse A tier. Donald. I'm gonna put Donald in S. I'm gonna put Donald, the Don himself, in S tier. The funny thing is like we have our two Dons. We've got our Donald, we got our Don Buse, and they're both really, really nice free cards. Like, I have both in my squad. I would probably run Donald over Buse, but it's very, very close. And yeah, I'm gonna put him in a different tier. Bledsoe, I'm just gonna say this right now. I've not used Bledsoe. I'm gonna guess that he's probably 6'1", so I'm gonna guess he's a D tier point guard. I'm just putting him there. I've not used the card. Fat Lever. This is a close one. I'm gonna put Fat Lever in A because I used him on current gen. I didn't like his release. He's a weird upper, but he's chicken man on next gen. Like, him versus Donald, which one's better? It's like Fat Lever is better on next gen, Donald is better on current gen, and it's tough. Like, I'm gonna say Ole's just a slight bit better of a card, but I might, like, Fat Lever's the best player in A tier, so I might move him up. I might move him up to S tier. Frank Ntilikina, no brainer, S tier. Frank is so good. He's like, imagine Alonzo, but better. That's basically what you're getting with Frankie right here. Like, he is a elite dunker, 6'6" at the point guard position. Got really good length, can shoot the ball well, has a good release. Like, Frank is a beast in this game. He is no question about it. Belongs up here in S tier. Downtown Freddie Brown, C. Like, he's fine. He's fine. His defense is pretty good. I just hate that release. I hate that Kyrie Irving release. Like, again, if you were to ask me who I prefer, who's better, like, objectively, down there, Freddie Brown or Much Parker, if you're looking stats and badges wise, it's Fred Brown, but man, I hate that release. Which is why wherever Kyrie is, do I even have Kyrie here? This Kyrie is going into this. This Kyrie is just better, Fred Brown. So I'm gonna put this Kyrie bet up because it is quite significant difference. But I'm putting this other Kyrie down in D tier. Like, it's literally like the 3 similar cards. The best of them is Kyrie, the second best is Fred Brown, the worst is the other Kyrie. So they're all in 3 different tiers. And it's a bit disappointing that like 2K did go and give us a free Kyrie Irving in Spotlight Sims, and he kind of sucks. But sure, look, it is what it is. Fred VanVleet, D. He's just kind of too undersized, really, isn't he? And like, it's not like he's anywhere near as good as CP3. He can't like Curry or anything. Yeah, he's D tier. Gary Payton, B, but he's the best in B. Because I think he's very close to A. I think he's very, very close to A. Could he even be at A? Like, it's a close one. Like, he does some things better than the guys in A. Because we do have some guys that I think are better than Gary Payton left. I'll give him A. I'll give him A tier. Payton's really, really good on defense and a pretty mediocre shooter, but he's not awful. Bonga. I'm gonna put Bonga B just so people don't get angry, but Bonga is, once we start getting the tall point guards, Bonga is gonna be god tier. I'm telling you. I still use Bonga to this day in my squad. He's fine. I just use him in case I come up against Magic Johnson because he can guard him. And in an era of the tall point guards, you're gonna have to find a budget tall point guard, and Bonga really is that guy. Bonga stops you from having to like manipulate all your matchups and switching everything constantly. And he shoots the ball well, in my opinion. I like his release. So Bonga, B tier, pushing A tier. IT, D. Like, he's tiny, he's 5'9". Actually, no, I'm gonna put him in E tier because there's a way more fun 5'9" player to use. Other Isaiah Thomas, D, but if you want to argue C, I'm not gonna hold that against you. He's somewhere between both of those tiers. I know a lot of people would have the guy in I know a lot of people would have him in C tier, but I'm putting him in D because I don't particularly like him. This Jamal Murray, bandaged up. This Jamal Murray C tier. He's not that far off Kobe White. I think his animations are good. His release is that little bit slow. But this Jamal Murray S. I think he's overpriced because he's a moments card. Like, he really is. A lot of people aren't as high on this guy because he is in that moments card tier, which unfortunately most of the time moments cards are a lot more expensive than they should be because they're rare. But in terms of his actual just output in the game, it's exceptional. Like, again, his animations, everything about him is brilliant on next gen. So yeah, we have got S tier Jamal Murray, in my opinion anyway. Jeremy Lin, A. Definitely A. Like, he's very comparable to O'Donnell. I think a lot of people have really slapped on this Jeremy Lin card because I think he was great when he came out. He was better, in my opinion, than the Gary Payton and Dwayne Wade when he came out. He was elite. Jeremy Lin was absolutely elite when he came out. It's just better cards game. John Stockton. I mean, people are going to want to say C tier just based on how used they are with his release, but I mean, he's just objectively D tier, isn't he? 6'1", not a long wingspan. He's objectively D tier. I think, are there any like bottom 2 tiers? Oh, Mark Price is a garbage man. Mike Bibby's not half bad, but he's like a 30k exchange, so I'm putting him into trash. Because I hope that nobody ever does another exchange. I hope that for as long as this game exists, no one ever does an exchange, that 2K might have to change him next year. Hampton, C. Or, no, that's Hampton D. I don't like him. He's so meh. He is so meh. MCW, E tier. If Lonzo Ball was here, you go E tier as well. He just doesn't bring anything on offense. Penny, E tier. He's not quite worthless because on next gen he moves, but that's about it. Tony Roten. I mean, there is a world where Tony Roten... I'm going to put Tony Roten in D tier. Like, there's a world where Tony Roten is a really good card. Or say there's potential of Tony Roten later on in the year to be a really good card. Because he actually is a really nice release. It's the 79 3 ball. I get it, he's 6'6", but nah. He was great for his time, though. He really, really was. And like the reason why I'm having to put him in D tier was so many people replaced their Chris Paul with their Tony Rotens. But then most people replaced their Tony Roten with a Jar Jack. So I don't think I can put him in a higher tier than this. Okay, Terry Rozier. Yuta! Of course. There is no other place other than S tier for Yuta. Like this, you don't understand how good this guy is. I dropped 29 points with him earlier today in a unlimited game. I'm just trying to do the play unlimited games. I played one and dropped 29 points with him. But in reality, Yuta's probably... He's more fun Isaiah Thomas. So let's just put him in D tier. But if you're talking fun factor, Yuta's the best. And even just shouting Yuta after every time he scores, that's one of my most enjoyable things in the game. I'm putting Nate Robinson down here in E tier. I think Yuta's just more fun than Nate Robinson. Like straight up, there's only room for one 5'9" player in D tier, and it's going to Yuta over Nate Robinson. Yuta is just so fun to use. Steph, I don't like Steph B tier. I don't like him at all. There's just something about him. He just seems non-existent on defense. Like, I don't know what exactly it is. I just don't like Steph Curry. Like, I know a lot of people are high on Steph. A lot of people really do like the card. I just don't. I just don't at all. I think he's a severely flawed card. I think he is very, very average in this game. Dinwiddie, S. If you're on current gen, yeah, Dinwiddie's probably not going to go into S tier. But if you're on next gen, he's S, there's no question. Blinders, 6'6", good release, carry slide. Off rage, off clamps. He's got everything. He's absolutely fantastic, lads. He is fantastic. So, Spencer Dinwiddie up into S tier. John Wall. John Wall. It's a close one. I'm going to bring him up and bring Donald down. Yeah, I think this looks a little bit better. Oh, no. Donald, is he better than Jamal? I'll keep them both up. But, yeah, John Wall is really good. Again, is he worth the grind? Probably not. Like, I didn't sleep for days, and I didn't even do the entire grind myself. I was splitting it with somebody, and I still didn't sleep for days. I think his grind was like right before 250 final as well. But again, good shooter, good handles, good dunker. Just an all-around good card. Is he the best point guard in the game? No. Is he comparable? Is he on the similar level to Derrick Rose? Yeah. Yeah, he's S. Killian Hayes. I mean, you clamps up Killian Hayes, or give quick first step to Killian Hayes. He's probably... I'll put him in C tier. I don't think he's quite as good as a Smush Parker. I can't believe I had Smush Parker in A tier. He did not belong in that tier. I'm just saying that right now. Actually, if I'm putting Steph Curry in B... Steph, get into A. Steph's better than Clem Haskins. Not by much, but he is better. I think I'm like... Even though I don't like Steph, I was underrating him. I put him in B. Okay, that tier looks a little bit better. But Killian Hayes has actually got a really good release. You just need to give him quick first step, which he doesn't come with. Lonzo. This is a tough one. I'm putting Lonzo in A tier. I know a lot of people are going to have Lonzo in S. I'm not as big a fan of him on current gen, and I think he's just not very good on next gen. Like, if you're asking me who I'd rather take, Calderon or Lonzo on next gen, I'm probably taking Calderon, who's actually not on this list. This Luka Doncic. I mean, you give this Luka Doncic his defensive badges, he's B. He's not half bad. He's a 6'7" point guard with really nice defensive stats. Like, he's got like in the 85 plus in all his defensive stats. And really good lateral quickness at 6'7". So, I'm putting him in B tier. I am. I don't think he's half bad. The Amethyst Luka, though, that's a different player. And speaking of different players, this Luka Doncic is S tier, and there is no question about that. This Luka is a shooter. He's a dunker. He's got showtime. He plays defense. Luka Doncic Galaxy Opal is one of the best cards period in the game, and he's also got X and base. The only thing is with the Diamond Luka is he has the not great Luka Doncic base on next gen. He's going base 29 on current gen, which is good. Okay, Pink Diamond Magic. In the middle because he's comes with like no range, no clamps. But actually, screw up. He's B tier as well. He's better than, like, I would use this Magic Johnson over half the guys in B tier. I'd use him over half the guys in A tier because he's got Hall of Fame deep hooks. But that's just for a troll tactic, so I'm not necessarily putting him in a too high a tier because his main tactic is a troll tactic. But speaking of Magic Johnson, this Magic Johnson, whether it's this one or the Pantheon Magic Johnson, no question in S tier. Magic, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic in game. His handle's good, his jumper's mediocre. He's elite on next gen, even though he can't run on current gen. He can post up people from the 3-point line. Again, another card who can be used as a troll card. He's one of the best defenders in the game. He's a mediocre shooter. He can just be used in every way. S tier. The only problem is he can't run. Markelle Fultz, C, D? I'll put him D. Nah, C. I like his release. I like Steph Curry base. So yeah, he's like bang smack in the middle here. He's alright. He's decent. Controversial one, Oscar Robertson in A tier. If you're on next gen, Oscar Robertson is without doubt A tier in my opinion. So as a next gen player, I'm just gonna put him in there. He comes with gold blinders. His post defense is pretty good if you're coming up against a big man, a point guard. He's just an all-around good card. His movement's good. His release isn't great on current gen, but I do feel like he's still a pretty good point guard. Pat Beverly, D. Nah, E tier. He would go D tier for his card. Like, I might move up a tier because his card art, but Pat Bev's not great. His release is alright, but he's just a little bit small. Reggie Theus, 1 tier below Bonga. He's a really tall point guard, 6'7", good defending the bigs and the big point guards, but I just don't like his jumper, and I think Bonga's better. Ricky Rubio, I like his release. If we're talking current gen, he's probably B tier because his release, I know for a fact, is good on current gen. I just haven't used him on current gen. I've only used him on next. I didn't like him on next. I'm going to put Rubio on B tier with the asterisk of I'm guessing, but from my experience, he's probably C. Westbrook, A tier, B tier, and it's a close one. It's like, I think Westbrook his opal is one of the lowest cards in A tier, and I still don't understand why I had Steph Curry in B tier at the start. That's just me being dumb. Steph Curry is in the top 50% of the players in A tier. Westbrook is probably one of the top in B tier for his diamond and one of the bottom in A tier for his opal. They're very similar cards. In the opals, that's a slight bit better, and now that they changed the releases, Westbrook's actually a pretty good point guard. Steve Francis, B. He's like an expensive but worse version of like Bob Sura and Smush Parker. He's alright though. He's alright. Steve Nash, same B tier. Like, he kind of offers a similar thing to what all these guys offer. They're all these Curry sliding dunking point guards, except Nash has a 25 interior defense, same as Baron Davis, but I do think Nash is better than Baron Davis. And Tony Parker, E tier. I get it. If you want to argue Tony Parker is better, he's still like 100k, so I could be bored. Like, yeah, I'm definitely biased against this card because of how expensive he is, but man, he sucks. I've tried to use him, he sucked. Terry Rozier, D. Walt Frazier, D. Good on defense. So yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. That is the tier list. Let me know in the comment section which ones you don't agree with, because at the end of the day, no two people's lists are going to be the same. This is my list based on my experience. I do play between both gens. I do mostly play on next gen. And to be honest, like, the way I'm playing 2K right now, I'm playing like 5 games of 5v5 max a week. I just don't have the patience for it anymore. I just don't have the patience. So for a lot of these newer cards, I've used these guys in a couple of settings. I've only used these guys maybe once or twice max in a 5v5 setting. With the older cards, I would have used a lot more. So yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. That is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.